Hello, everyone. Happy Monday for you, Sunday for us. It's actually the sun is shining right now, so I'll take it. Hi,
What
Paula.
what what a miracle.
What a miracle. What a miracle.
Yeah.
So how is the weather where you are? Tell us. Where you
It's
are.
probably similar, like, the sun just broke through, so I'm in Wolfville, Nova Scotia,
Mm,
and it is a really beautiful spot. So my husband had, like, a firefighting convention conference thing, and I was like, he mentioned it to me, and he's like, "You could come," and I was like, "Vineyard, time alone."
Yes.
Like, yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So it's been good because I had some things I needed to work on for my CBT course that I'm taking. So it gave me the time because it is shocking. It is hard to find time to do everything,
Yeah.
between
Mhm.
businesses and working and children. It's hard to find the
Yes.
time. So this has been good. And yeah, the weather's pretty good. Yesterday was like, I'm sure pretty similar to Moncton. It's like rain. Like, I woke up in the morning and I was like, I'm gonna go get a coffee, and I forgot to bring my raincoat. And I looked outside and like torrential rain. Like,
Yeah. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
had to wait for a break. I had to wait till it like eased up a bit to run to the nearest cafe. But
Crazy.
whatever, still good regardless.
Yes. Still
Yeah.
some time that you don't have to do mom things.
That's right. And I'm getting updates from my kids, and like, of course, I'm FaceTime them and stuff like that, as they're just like living their best life, like went
Oh,
swimming, like got like their grandparents spoiled them, brought them to the mall, like the whole
love
thing.
that for them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're living their
That's
best life.
awesome.
Yeah. What did you do this weekend?
I don't even know. So we had sushi on Friday. We took it easy after that. Yesterday, what did we do yesterday? Oh my gosh. So it was raining like all morning. So in the afternoon, we were like, you know what? Like we need to get groceries, so may as well just make like, you know, a family outing out of it.
Yeah.
Why do we do that to ourselves? Like,
You know what? You have to do those things to learn from them, though. Okay.
but I feel like we're not learning. That's the thing. Like every time we're like, let's go get groceries as a family, and every time we're like, why are we doing this?
Yes.
Why? So we did Costco on a Saturday.
Oh my,
Mhm.
okay, okay. I don't think you needed to live that experience to learn from that. Like, that was a rookie mistake.
But we keep doing it.
Mm-mm.
Like why? Hmm.
Costco on a Saturday,
Yeah,
already no, already
I
no.
know. I know. So we
And then
got
you
back.
brought Amelia.
Yes. We got back. I was exhausted.
Like, you ran a marathon.
Yes, I was exhausted. I'm like, wow, that was really nice. So, yeah, that's
Let's let's let
that was our
let's
day.
let this lesson sink in, though. Let's
I
let
know,
it sink in.
I know it needs, yes, yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that was that. Today we're going to, as soon as she wakes up, I think we're going to the park and just,
Oh,
that's gonna be better. There's lots of space, like
yes,
you can run, it's fine, like,
yes.
hmm yeah.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad that the sun is shining more so for the children as well. Like, they deserve that on the weekends. Like, they need to get outside and do just that, just to run, go to the
Yes.
park. Like, yeah.
Energy out. Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you, my dresses came in for the event.
Oh, that
hmm
was a close call.
I know that was a
Close
close call.
call.
So I'm really, I just need to decide which one I want to wear, and then yeah,
Okay, you'll have to show me. Oh, you have to
I
show.
will.
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get into it. What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about? We are talking about when you feel. What are we talking about? Oh my gosh, my brain. Do you remember what?
So when you don't recognize
When
yourself.
you don't recognize yourself. Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because um like, we recognize that, like, we're talking a lot in the membership about, like, unlocking your potential, like feeling your best self, like, and all that stuff. And although, like, we think that those are really important conversations, and those are conversations that I definitely needed to hear at different points and like in different seasons, I do think that it's depending on where you are in your journey,
Mm,
right? Of like healing and wanting better for yourself and like aligning with your best self and who you want to be.
mm,
Like those messages can be received differently. Like I think when I was at my lowest, to be honest, and I can think of like a specific time when I was at my lowest, like when I think about like myself in I definitely had prenatal depression, like when I was pregnant, definitely,
mm.
and prenatal depression and anxiety, like when I was postpartum, not great. And if I would have heard like shiny, glossy, like be your best self, like although that meant something to me at a certain point in my journey and that was important to me at a certain point, at that particular point, I
It
wouldn't have
wasn't.
connected to that at
Yeah.
all.
Mm,
Right?
mhm.
Because I couldn't even look in the mirror without crying. Like
Yes.
I felt like a shell of a person, right?
Yes.
And I to talk about like fun and like, oh, go have some fun. Like when felt like I was just it was enough at the end of the day that I survived the day, to be
Right.
honest.
Right.
Right. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think we want to talk about when you don't recognize yourself anymore. And first and foremost, like we've we've been there. Like I think
Mm.
like just to know that when you're feeling that way, like you are definitely not alone. Like,
Oh my gosh. No.
no.
Mm-mm.
And
I,
if you feel alone, like connect with somebody that you know that has been through that. Cause I think that's actually really an important piece.
oh my gosh. Yes. I feel like I've had like two instances in my life where I was really like, what the is going on?
Yeah.
Obviously, like after my divorce, I had these moments of like looking at myself and being like, who am I? Like, who is this person without, that relationship, without that life? Like, no clue. And then definitely after having Amelia, being sleep deprived and like being frustrated at my partner for being the man in the relationship and like,
Hmm.
obviously being the default parent and just having so much like frustration and like resentment, not liking my body, like that was a reality for me, like not feeling happy in my body, not just not feeling like myself, like trying to decide what I wanted to do with my life. It's like
Hmm.
I was just in this weird phase. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
I took a picture of myself when I was probably my youngest was probably a month old, like I want to say.
Mm,
And I have it, I should share it actually. I will. I look I look it's sad. It's sad. I'm in the mirror and I'm holding her, but I was clearly just like crying. I look like I've been hit by a bus. I felt like I've been hit by a bus. But
yeah.
the only the only saving grace I think I had in that moment was that I had gone through it before. Like I did the
Mm,
postpartum thing before with my oldest, and I knew that it was a season. Like I
yeah.
knew I was going to get out of that moment, and it didn't negate like how hard it felt in that moment when I was holding my youngest, and like the postpartum depression, like it was real.
Mm,
But I had the like clarity to take the picture and to be like, I'm gonna look back at this and I want to like know that this was my lowest. And like
mm,
I had the hope though that I knew I was gonna climb out of it. Like I knew to take the picture. This was a moment
right.
in time, but I
Yes.
wasn't gonna stay there. Like, and
Right.
I think that if you haven't had that experience of when you're at your lowest to know what's on the other side, it's really hard, right? Like, obviously, because you don't know that it's a season. You think, well, okay, this is my life now.
That was me. Like postpartum, I was like, you know what? Like I feel like I've had friends or women in my life that had gone through it, and they were clearly feeling great and back to themselves, and they
Mhm.
told me that it was a season. But when I after my divorce, that was harder for me because I feel like I didn't have anyone in my circle or in my life that could say, you know what, I've been in your shoes, like I know exactly how you feel, and like you will get through it. So not feeling like yourself, like not recognizing yourself in the mirror, and on top of it, not knowing if or when you're going to get out of this,
Mhm.
so much harder. It's
So
like
much harder.
so
Because you're
much
just,
harder.
yeah, you're like in a black hole and there's no light seeking in. Like I do think for me with my second, like there was like I was in a tunnel, but there was a little light because I just knew, right? Like I
Yeah.
knew that this is as hard as it gets. And like there is, I have to keep pushing. I have to keep trying to connect with, who I know that I am. And
Mm,
I mean, it doesn't make it less hard, but it's still better than the unknown for sure. And I
yeah.
will say, like, I do think that, you know, why I continue to do like personal development work and things like that is because like the unexpected and things happen and you don't know what's always going to be on the other side of things.
Yeah.
But to know that like no matter what, like I'm always going to be okay. Like I do recognize that like there are seasons of life and that
Mhm.
I do know that there is, there is hope and there is like love on the other side and sharing matters, talking matters, like all these little things that I have in my toolkit.
Mm,
Like I know that I can pull out at any time, even though like it doesn't make what you're going through any less hard. It's still, once you learn these things and once you fill your toolkit, like you can always go back to them and use them, right? Like understanding that like connection matters and sharing your truth matters and that like understanding that there's a higher self and that you are like always taking, even if it feels like you're taking 10 step backwards, if you can just like put one foot in front of the other, like you can connect to
mm,
that again. Like
yeah.
understanding those things is really like a saving grace.
Yes. And it's so funny you're talking about that toolkit because I was just going to say, like, personal development is not just like for the current moment. Like, yes, on the day to day, you're like getting stronger emotionally, mentally, whatever, and you're, making better decisions. You're having just an overall better mindset, but it is basically you're becoming equipped to deal with like life. Because I think one thing that I will always say is that you can manifest all the good things as much as you want, and we talk about how powerful the law of manifestation is. Life is a roller coaster, like there's no denying that. Like I don't know one single person that, even the people that I look up to that spent 25 years doing personal development, they still have things happening in their lives where it sucks. Like it is just a reality that we live with. And so it's so important to like keep working on yourself, not just for today, but really for the long run. Like you want to keep adding, like you said, tools in your toolkit. And it makes the world of a difference when you're actually faced with a situation and you have the self-awareness to be like, I know what I'm in right now sucks. I
Yeah.
know I'm feeling broken. I'm feeling like I'm hitting rock bottom. I'm feeling alone. I'm feeling grief, sad, all of the emotions. But I know I'm going to be okay. I know that it's a season. I can, start pulling these tools out little by little, day by day. And then eventually it's got, oh, like it doesn't feel as heavy. Like
Yeah.
that's what's important, is to like have that self-awareness to like recognize like how am I feeling today, and eventually you'll be like, okay, it is feeling a little bit lighter than I felt 10 days ago, and that should be a win. Like focus on
Exactly.
that and keep working at that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like, well, there's been so many times where I've talked to women who were in it. Like they were at the lowest. And I've always said to them, and you, like, there's so many conversations we've had, and so many, trying to get them different perspectives, and give them that like little bit of a lifeline of hope. But
Mm,
the like, it sounds cheesy, or it sounds like it doesn't mean as much. But like when I would look at them in the eyes and say, like, you are always going to be okay, right?
mm,
Like just that, I feel like I know that's what I would have wanted to hear. Like,
yes.
it's as simple as that. It's like, this might be a total clusterfuck and a total tornado that's maybe ripped through your life. But
Yeah.
like, no matter how heavy all this stuff is, no matter how much you are feeling like you're circling the drain,
Yeah.
you actually are always going to be okay.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day. And I think that that is just something as that, if that can just like keep you going for like just that moment,
Yeah.
because again, like it's one foot in front of the other. Like, and we say it all the time, but I think that's like all people in those moments need to know. Like when you were at your lowest and it was like really fresh, and like you had to, that moment when like you obviously know this, like when you have to sit with the fact that like, okay, my divorce is a reality, and I actually need to go tell my friends and my family, and I need to make this real now, and I need to say the
Yes.
words that it's over.
That
Like
was the words.
that moment of realizing like
Yeah.
things are real. I can't talk my way out of this. I can't think my way out of this. Like I have to really face the reality, and I have to see the reality now on other people's faces.
Mm,
Like that moment right before then, though, I think if we can all just like tell ourselves that, like, you are always going to be okay, and like
yeah.
one foot in front of the other, like, if I think if we had that voice in our head, like it would just like get us through those times and closer to the other side faster. If we can just be like,
Mm,
you know what, like this is absolute shit, but one foot in the front of the other, I have to do this, and like let's move into that next phase. Like,
mm.
but it's hard. But again, like that's the toolkit, right? Like that's,
Amazing.
and I think, we can see all these people online or whatever. And like to me, like comes to my head, like Mel Robbins, just because she's everywhere right now. But like we see these people and we think like, oh my gosh, they have it all figured out. Like
Yeah.
now they're preaching to us and everything they've learned. And like it all seems so glossy and so like, wow. But like all they're doing is sharing their experience. And I would think because they are intelligent people, these people that we listen to, they recognize that like life is still going to happen to them as well. Like
Yes.
you're not like set into the sunset and nothing bad or nothing traumatic or any kind of inconvenience is like not going to happen to these people. Like that is not true.
I agree 1000%. Like if I just think like personally, like so I had if I think like events that like really shook me, like that
Mhm.
really I had to dig deep. There was so my divorce. After that, there was we lost a baby.
Mhm.
After that, there was postpartum, like relationship took a hit clearly because
Yep.
life got so different.
Yeah.
And then it was my dad was sick for a while, not really
Mhm.
knowing how that was going to pan out.
Yeah.
Like struggling through my businesses, really wanting to make my dream and my vision come true, but like
Yeah.
we all know how it is being an entrepreneur. Like there's been so many periods where it was so hard, and
Yeah.
like I know it's going to keep happening. Like it's just reality. It's life. So I think that to your point, like the faster that you accept where you are at this point in time, and you surrender
Yeah.
what this has to teach you
Yeah.
and what this is trying to give you, the faster and the quicker you're going to get on the other side of it. I like
100%.
1000% believe that.
Yeah, same. And I think there's a lot of people who have seen me and who have been like in my orbit, since even since I was like a teenager and stuff, that would not know
Mm.
the little battles, right? And I think what I wouldn't want people to think is that, like, because I don't believe in like faking it till you make it, any of that, right? Like, it's not like people have always like coined me as like positive Paula. Like, I've heard that so many times throughout like my career and everything like that. And like, it's not a facade. I want that to be clear. What it is even though there's been things happening like with my
Mhm.
family and like things like lots of different hurdles that I've had to go through, there
Mhm.
isn't uh there the facade isn't me pretending that everything is perfect. It's me using my tools and in my toolkit and knowing who I want to be, making
Yeah.
sure that I am on the checklist and being the person I want to be. Like, and not losing sight of that
Despite whatever is going on in your
despite
life.
the shit. Like,
Yeah.
despite all of that, right? Like, I've had so much to navigate through family dynamics growing up. I've had so much like in my adult life, same as you, like, you know, losing a baby, had a
Yeah.
terrible pregnancy, told that she had a cyst on her brain or one of her kidneys was
Oh,
enlarged, like going through postpartum. Like, there's so many things that I think that we all have our stories, right? Like, nobody is excluded in that. Nobody is spared, right? Like, everybody has things. And
yeah.
how our personalities deal with that is all going to look a bit different. But the thing is that continuing to do this kind of work isn't to get to a place where like life is perfect. I guess that's the point. Like, it's not to get to a place where it's like, you know what? I'm actually better than everyone else now because I have it all figured out and I'm never going to have a hardship again in my life. Like, that's
Exactly.
never going to be real,
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. And I want to touch on something like you mentioned earlier, like how, um, it's, you never really know when you're going to get out of it. And it's like painful. Like, I remember something that I found like so painful was all of the first, like,
Mm.
after, especially after my divorce, like the first Christmas, the first birthday, the first anniversary, the first whatever, whatever. Oh, we used to go at that place all the time. Now I was going to that place by myself. Like, I was the anticipation and like just that feeling of like immense like sadness and like void of like knowing that you have to go through that day and it's gonna be so different and painful. Like, that was so hard. It was so friggin' hard. But I think at that point, like, I started like being a bit more self-aware and I was like almost like preparing myself for it. Like, I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? Like, I know it's going to suck. Like, I know this is going to suck. There's just no other way around it. Like,
Yeah.
I just have to go through it. Like, at one point, I was almost like wanting to go through these days as quick as possible so
Of
I could get
course.
over it. Like, it
So you can
was,
get on, so you can get to the other side of it.
I was like, you know what? Like, let's go. Like, let's feel the feelings. Like, let's go through the emotions. Like, I just want to like be over with it. Like,
But I think that's so important though. And I think that's probably why you are in the place that you're in too, is that you didn't avoid it. You didn't hide from
yeah,
it. And that
no,
is so natural for people to want to avoid pain and
yeah,
avoid being uncomfortable. And that is, but I think we all know this, like, the more you avoid, the longer it will persist, right? Like, it will, you have to
that's
face it head on.
that's what it was for me. I was like, I cannot go one more year or whatever, one more day with like feeling like this.
Yeah.
I just I had to choose, when they say like choose your heart, that's
Yeah.
exactly how it felt. I was like, it's either I keep, avoiding the work and I keep just being miserable because if you're avoiding the work, like it's gonna suck regardless. So
Yeah.
it's like no winning. So I chose my heart. And the reason I chose that was because I was hoping that by going through it instead of like trying to avoid it, that I would actually come out better on the other
Right.
side. I would
Right.
feel lighter, or like that I would be healed more. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, so if you're hearing this and you're like, tired of feeling sad and tired, like maybe you just need to surrender. Like maybe you just need to be like, you know what, I'm done. Like universe, give me what I need to feel like, and go through it. Like basically what's the saying? Like you need to like face the storm, or like, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. And I think that's exactly it. Like, and it's not to like, it's not a cruelty to yourself. Like, I think people are like, oh, don't do that. Like, like we have that in our head. Like, we want to avoid it. So, like, and we don't want to be like causing ourselves pain, but at the same time, like, feeling it is important.
Mm.
Like, I don't know, really early on, I think it was my doctor actually at the time, like when I had the miscarriage, like she had told me to write a letter to the baby, and I did.
Oh, so powerful.
So,
Mm.
and honestly, like I look back at that, and I had read it to my husband, and it was just awful.
Oh, I have
But yeah,
feelings.
I know it was awful. But at the same time, I look back at that, and I think like, my God, I that was so healing. That was
Mm.
so healing that I got it all out, everything that I wanted to say. And I think like if I hadn't done that, like how much longer I would have been in that pain
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it is important to face it head on, and it's not to again like purposely hurt yourself, but it's to feel it and to
Yeah.
move through it. Like they're really that saying, there's no way out but through. Well,
I
that's
agree.
that's it.
I agree. And I think that would be like a good podcast topic, because I also have a lot to say about like miscarriage, and
Mm,
like the fear after that, and like basically just PTSD of like having
totally.
another pregnancy after you've just gone through something so traumatic. So I don't want to talk too much about it. I do think that you and I would have a lot to say.
Totally.
But yeah, like I guess just if we're wrapping this up, like if you are looking at yourself in the mirror right now and you don't recognize the woman that is there, like just know that there is a beautiful life waiting for you on the other side. Like I always say this, there's not one, cell in my body that believes that we are meant to live a sad life, or that we are meant to go through life with like a broken heart. I do not believe that. There is something for you on the other side of this, and you just have to make that decision. You just need to say, you know what, I'm surrendering. That's literally what I did. Like I was in my car crying, and I was so tired of crying that I just said, universe, give it to me. Like I'll follow what you tell me. Just take the wheel, take the lead. Like, and so just know that there is a beautiful life waiting for you on the other side of this.
Yeah. Find your lifeline, find the thing that will keep you pushing in the direction, that one extra day, that even if it's 1 minute at a time, like find that thing and hold on to it. And then, but also like let go of how you think everything should be and how you should be feeling, and all the shoulds, let go of it completely. And like
Mm,
Renee said, like just give the universe will give it to you the way that it's supposed to be. And
yeah,
you just need to put one foot in front of the other.
yeah, exactly. Wow, like I feel emotional. That was, I don't know, it was
It's a lot.
bringing emotions back. Yeah.
I
Oh
know.
my God. Good. That's good. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. If you're listening audio, if you're watching the recording, it's so nice to have you here. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share with your friends. I'm sure that if you're listening to this, maybe it's not resonating with you in your current life. Maybe it is, but if it's not, and you have a friend that might be, needing to hear this, please send it over their way. And as always, our DMs are open. We're always open to chat. And you're not alone. So just know that you're not alone.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Talk soon.
Bye.